It's an infection.
Right, I knew it was.
We're with a tiny parasite spread by sexual contact. So,
okay.
it's a sexually transmitted infection, STI. It's sometimes called Tricomonaiss, infection, or trick. Say trick. You know, like both men and women can get a trick infection, but it is more commonly detected in women. So,
right.
So that's where we would, let's go with a natural treatment. So what do you do for this tiny parasites spread by sexual contact? What do you do, Doc?
Well, what I would do is put on the oregano, the ADP, because it's a emulsified form and it breaks down throughout the day. Plus, I put it on a black salve tablet, because black salve tablet is very, very strong to kill viruses. So between those two things, that would wipe that out, because the ADP kills virus, bacteria, fungus, and parasites.
Yes.
And then black salve tablets kills viruses, all kinds of sexual diseases, transmitted diseases.
There you go. So, a black salve, and
it's a tablet. It's not the salve itself. The salve will just burn your gut up. It's a special tablet with bloodroot, sheep sorrel, and gangula in that tablet.
Ah, there you go. And
that way,
is that one on your website?
Swallow. I don't think I put it on there, because every time it shows up in one location, the FDA shuts it down. They have to move to another state.
Oh, yes. We got to have the Gestapo putting this boot on your throat while you're trying to help people. We know how that works. So, okay, so Tricomonaiss is one of the most common sexually transmitted diseases, STD, in the world. And if we go over to, well, let's as a matter of fact, what they're saying about this, it can cause very uncomfortable symptoms. It's believed up to 70% of people with trichomoniasis do not have any symptoms. In fact, most people with trichomoniasis do not even know they are infected. The infection is caused by a parasite, Tricomonaiss vaginalis. And when it affects humans, although different strains, some also affect cows and pigeons and other animals. So, thankfully, trichomoniasis is curable. And although trichomoniasis is a less well-known STD than other sexually transmitted infections, it can still be very serious if left untreated. It can lead to changes in the cervix in women. This may increase the risk of preterm delivery in pregnant women, as well as risk of low birth weight for their babies. Some studies also suggest that trichomoniasis is related to cervical cancer risk, pelvis inflammatory disease, and infertility risk. It can also make it easier to get HIV or to pass HIV to a partner. If you are sexually active or you think you may have an STD, trichomoniasis, included, you and your partner should get tested, even if he or she does not have symptoms. So what is trichomoniasis? And trichomoniasis is indeed an STD. STD. And luckily for those who are infected, trichomoniasis is curable. It is curable. According to the CDC, about 3.7 million people in the U.S. have trichomoniasis, making it the most common curable STD in the nation. It is also considered the most common non-viral STD in the world. The World Health Organization, WHO, estimates that 276 million cases of trichomoniasis happen each year around the world. 276 new cases every year around the world. And that 187 million people have the STD at any given point in time. How do you get trichomoniasis? The infection spreads through sexual contact, either between a man and a woman or between two women. In women, trichomoniasis also commonly infects the vulva, vagina, and urethra. Trichomoniasis in men is most often found inside the penis in the urethra. It does not affect other body parts, since the parasite cannot survive in places such as the mouth and anus. Trichomoniasis is very unlikely to pass between two men. In some cases, your body can fight off trichomoniasis without treatment within a few weeks or months. But in most cases, a complete trichomoniasis cure requires medical treatment. And since you can have trichomoniasis without having any symptoms of it, it's best to be tested again after you treat it to be sure it's gone. Trichomoniasis. Go ahead, sir.
I didn't know it was that common.
Yeah. Again, we're looking at it with different names. We're thinking, of it. But again, I didn't know it was that common either. Now, symptoms of trichomoniasis appear. The symptoms of it appear 5 to 28 days after getting infected. It's not known why some people get trichomoniasis symptoms and others don't. But when they occur, they can range from mild to severe. The symptoms can come and go or be fairly constant. Trichomoniasis symptoms in women include itching, burning, red or sore genitals, vulva, labia, vagina, itching of the inner thighs, discomfort when urinating, peeing, new or unusual vaginal discharge. That's trichomoniasis discharge, can be clear, white, yellow, or green. And the vaginal odor, often described as fishy smell. And discomfort or pain during sex. That's the symptoms a woman may have. And trichomoniasis in women can cause symptoms that are easily confused with a yeast infection or chlamydia. That's why an accurate diagnosis from a clinic or health professional is highly recommended before you attempt to treat the symptoms. You want to make sure what you're treating. Trichomoniasis symptoms in men include itching or irritation inside the penis, pain or burning after urinating or ejaculating, and discharge from the penis. Even if you do not have any symptoms, you should seek trichomoniasis treatment if you or your partner have been diagnosed. So the risk factors: anyone who is sexually active can get trichomoniasis, but you are most at risk if you are a woman between the ages of 16 and 35. African American women in the United States are almost 10 times as likely to have the infection as white or Mexican American women. Trichomonas also affects men. But Trichomonas symptoms in men are less common. And the other risk factors: unprotected sex, misuse of condoms, multiple sex partners, having sex with someone else who is infected or who does not practice safe sex, having Trichomonas or if someone has had this Trichomonaiss in the past. Those are all risk factors. Consider getting tested if you have any of these risk factors or Trichomonaiss, and encourage your partner to or partners to do the same. So trichomoniasis is one of the most common sexually transmitted diseases. 276 million cases. About 3.7 million people in the U.S. have it. About 276 million cases of trichomoniasis happen each year around the world. And so those are the symptoms and we talked about it. Let's talk about the treatment. Pomegranate juice, myrrh, zinc. You can use a zinc sulfate douche as well. Ginger extract, resveratrol, avocado, basil, mullein, tomatoes, black cumin oil, Manicara rufula flavonoid, and tannin extracts. That was so when we get into the more natural treatments, pomegranate juice, in a small clinical study, women were given pomegranate juice and they experienced a complete cure of their trichomoniasis. When they were checked again 2 months later, they were still trichomoniasis free. This is likely due to the anti-parasitic effect that pomegranate extract has been shown to have both in lab and live studies. So, pomegranate juice, myrrh in another study, 2 capsules of myrrh, Camophora, mulmol, for 6 to 8 days. 2 capsules of myrrh for 6 to 8 days were given to women with trichomoniasis every morning. Every morning the women took the pills, and 2 hours before breakfast on an empty stomach. According to the study, results were promising. This is likely because the myrrh also fights trichomoniasis parasites in lab studies. Then the zinc sulfate douche. In a small group of women with trichomoniasis that was resistant to conventional drugs, which means this is not considered a first-line treatment. A 1% zinc sulfate solution was used as a vaginal douche. It was effective in nearly every patient who was given the douche. So, although the researchers do not know why the treatment worked, the women had negative follow-up tests for trichomoniasis and also had no more symptoms. It was not clear whether zinc sulfate supplements would have a similar effect. Many of the natural plant extracts show promise because of anti-trichomoniasis activity in early research. The most interesting plant-derived options tend to include polyphenolic compounds, alkaloids, isoflavonoid, glucosides, oils, lipids, saponins, and sequestropine, lactones. These plants or extracts have been shown to kill trichomoniasis parasite fairly well in studies on cells, not in actual humans yet in most cases. Ginger extract. Ginger extract. Researchers showed that ginger ethanol extract effectively killed trichomoniasis cells in the lab, and it's well known for its impact on a wide range of other health concerns. Resveratrol, because its anti-parasitic properties, resveratrol is now being explored for its potential role in development of new anti-trichomoniasis drugs. And the bonus, it's found in red wine and may contribute to good heart health. resveratrol. Avocado. Avocado is an anti-parasitic activity in lab research is promising. Avocado may confirm traditional medicinal uses of the avocado skin in Mexico and Peru to treat intestinal parasites and even cancer of the labia. Basil is also another contender herb in early laboratory studies of natural trichomoniasis. Treatments there are many health uses for basil, and it's easy and delicious to incorporate into your diet as an earthy and fresh punch of flavor in your food. Verbascum thapsus, also known as moline, was also identified as a promising potential trichomoniasis therapy. It is believed to fight the infection and inflammation. Moline may have properties that can help your body mount its own defense against STD. And tomatoes, well, it's easy. Tomato is in a very early in its life cycle of research as an anti-trichomoniasis therapy. But tomato is another anti-inflammatory powerhouse. Tomatoes are an easy way to incorporate nutritious, healthful boost into your daily diet, regardless of where the science eventually falls on its anti-trichomoniasis potential. So the information on tomatoes is kind of out there yet. Nigella sativa, black cumin oil, shows promising activity against trichomoniasis in the lab. Also is known as black seed oil. These tiny black seeds produce oil that's a potent anti-infectious natural remedy. Finally, the last one, Manuka rufula flavonoid and tannin extracts are relatively new to the Western natural medicine, but may be a very promising alternative to conventional medicinal treatment of trichomoniasis. So the main thing is here we need to boost the immune system. And you can also use things for the itch, like spraying on witch hazel. That would be helping with the itch and so forth. But we pretty much talked, I think that's pretty much it. Let's see if we can move on over to radiation treatment. Somebody who's been through radiation and chemo, and they're wondering if turmeric would be one of the herbs that would be helpful. And my answer would, it's anti-inflammatory. So turmeric, yes, would be also anti-cancerous as well. So, and it's anti-inflammatory. So Doc, what's your take on radiation and chemotherapy treatment and things to help it?
Well, when I get a patient in that's just gone through chemo and radiation, I put them on that blister pack of vitamin D3, 50,000 units a day for 15 days. That puts your immune system on the top shelf real quick so they don't get pneumonia and die. You have to hit them with D3 strong enough, and after 15 days of the 50,000 units each day, then you put them on 10,000 units, because that's very, very important to keep them stable so they don't drop back down and lose their immune system. Because, chemo and radiation will kill you quicker than cancer will.
Oh, yeah. People are dying of the chemotherapy, they're dying of the radiation, they're not dying of the cancer.
That's right. Because it's, that stuff is lethal. It'll kill the bad and the good, and you don't have anything left unless you have a real strong immune system. And after they go through that, they don't have an immune system. I mean, it's just bottomed out. That's why they can get sick real easy with pneumonia or something like that and die real quickly. So, that's the first thing that I do for somebody that's gone through, chemo and radiation, especially the chemo, because it will knock the immune system completely down. And radiation just burns through your body. So, it's like getting shot with a laser everywhere. I'm just not into that.
Yes, exactly. So that's why I totally agree with you on that, and the dosage with the vitamin D3, and that's why I recommend that in the Make Lifestyle Changes. It's the second most important thing that you can, and other things you can do is the B12 and folic acid drops, to revitalize every cell, the fulvic acid, and even colostrum, to increase the immune system when somebody has been through radiation and chemotherapy. And yeah, you've got to really, you've got to build them up so the body can do what it does, and that is heal itself. And it's not going to be able to heal itself unless it has the tools, because it's just been knocked to the ground with radiation and chemo, and that's why then you come down with everything in the world. So yes, you need to know about that vitamin D3. So important. 50,000 for 15 days, 10,000 every day thereafter. Maybe around flu season, 6 months later, whatever it is, do it again. Just so you don't, make sure you just kind of like make sure you're strong and get through the flu. Doc, go ahead.
I do that. Should have taken a flu shot. I'll take the 50,000 units a day for 15 days. That booster pack. It only costs $10. It's really not much money. And then I don't ever get the flu.
There you go. It works.
My immune.
It works. So
Yep.
Let's go check the room here. Let's see if anybody has a question, because I've got you overtime here. Folks, do you have a question in the room here? Anybody, open your microphone, press your start key 2 times. If you have a question or a comment, something that Doc Miles and I can talk about while we're here. He's going to have to leave now, but if you've got a question or a comment or a suggestion, now's a good time to press the start key 2 times on your microphone, and then I'll see your microphone is open, and then I will ask you what it is you would like to talk about. And they're in Kentucky. Whoops, it came over. It was on and off. My goodness, that was fast. Okay. In Kentucky, did you again press your start key? Let's find out. Did you have a question there in Kentucky? Did you have a question? No. Okay. All right. It looks like we don't have any more questions. So, Doc, thank you for being so generous with your time and coming and visiting with us here today. And did you have anything else to share with us before you go off to your other duties?
No, I'm fine. I just want you to keep doing what you're doing, and God bless you for what you do.
All right, my dear friend. Doc Miles out there in Georgetown, Texas, with a busy naturopathic clinic, and comes here and shares time and helps give us a deeper perspective on natural remedies. We appreciate you and thank you so much. And we'll see you on the radio next week.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Doc Miles. Again, Doc Miles' telephone number is 512-868-9867. 512-868-9867. All right. Wow. So we were really getting into that Make Lifestyle Changes diet, because that's the platform you stand on. And after you've done all these things first thing in the morning.
That's a break.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Prophet Elijah, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
When you was talking about the Tricomonaiss, and you made a statement that with the Afro-American women, it was 10 times higher than any other. Did they state why that? What is that reason?
That means there's more exposure. Because and you know, I don't know what that means, but there's a higher exposure rate there, and I don't know why. Why that's a very good question. 10 times more, maybe a weaker immune system, and again, probably the fact that African American people of color, they need more vitamin D3. They're missing that, and that's the first thing Doc Miles said that he would do for radiation and chemotherapy. And it's the same thing with the Tricomonaiss, because the reason why people of color need more D3 because they were getting all this D3. You know, historically and traditionally, they were out in people. They were people that were out in the sunshine and getting lots of sun more, and so they became darker. And they're soaking up the vitamin D3 from the sun. So they have this tremendous need and tolerance, and it keeps them strong and healthy. And that's why, you know, the African nations, some of the greatest athletes that ever were, or they ever are. And we've got a microphone that's open over here. So they have a greater need because because African people people of color are not getting as much sun as they did, you know, back in the in early days. So that's the problem, and so that is the problem why then their immune system is lower. And so again, we get back to the vitamin D3, but we're also getting back to what was one of the key things in the Make Lifestyle Changes diet. You got it, vitamin D3, 50,000. You know, and did that answer your question, Prophet Elijah?
Yes, sir. So, over what you're saying, then we need, as far as the Afro-Americans, they need to be more in the sun than they normally have been lately.
Oh yes, they need to be more in the sun because they're more sun tolerant. They really thrive in the sun, but especially because they don't and can't, and very many times we have inside jobs and so forth. Then you just don't get out, and all of a sudden your immune system is in the basement. And you're coming down with things that are, you know, making and that's only from the vitamin D3. So if you're using that vitamin D3 that's in the Make Lifestyle Changes report, then you're covered, and that's why it's there, because it's for everybody. You know, and because and even people that are white skinned who don't require much vitamin D because they learned to live without so much sunshine and became a lighter complexion, and because they weren't soaking up those sun rays, they were, you know, so and that was another thing that triggered more disease and weak immune systems throughout, you know, and people were coming down with the plagues and so forth, weak immune systems, and diet and so forth. You know, but anyway, yeah, I don't know if does that explain what I'm trying to say?
Yes, no, that answered my question. But when you were doing the statistics, I just wanted to make sure that they would describe what that was, because the people probably need to know this.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, so and again, it all gets back down to the basics. A diet that has these kinds of elements in it, to where it builds you up to where the body can heal itself. The body is continuously strong. That's why this particular Make Lifestyle Changes diet system is so incredible. But okay, let's get over here to Kentucky or over in there, because we've got an open microphone. Did you have a question there with your open microphone?
Peace and blessings, family.
Go ahead.
All praise be to the Most High. I just want to know, are y'all reading like some statistics or reading a chart or something? Because who are the Afro Americans or the colors or something like that? Because I don't know nothing about that. All I know about is the Israelites or the non-Israelites. So who are these Afro Americans they talk about?
The Israelites are Afro American. That was the origin. They came out of Africa, and that's my understanding of it. Not that I'm a historian. I'm just an herbalist.
What about the indigenous people that was already in America, the original natives? Because I don't see why they call people African Americans when they was already in America before everybody else. So how could they be called something else?
Well, we're talking about the historian of evolution, from Africa to the United States, because that was the origin. Everybody was born in Africa,
I agree that could be possible, but I just don't get why they try to call people Afro Americans and stuff like that when the original people that was here was a darker skinned people, and they couldn't be called like African Americans or European Americans or any type of Americans. Besides Americans, they were the first citizens.
Yeah, I was just citing a study. Okay, that's what the study said. It said African Americans. Yeah, that's just the way people talk.
It's misleading.
But I wanted to clarify the people who originated from Africa. Really, this discussion that we're getting into, it has very little to do with natural remedies or herbs.
I just wanted to clarify that, though, that we like the African American thing is a scam. Like the people that was here first was dark-skinned people in America before Columbus or anybody got here.
Yeah,
our people was here.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
we can't be African Americans. We the original Americans.
Yes, sir. You definitely are. Yeah, that's exactly correct. So, okay. Did you have anything pertaining to natural remedies that you wanted to talk about?
No. I just wanted to talk about the different fruits and vegetables that are vital to your diet. I just wanted to raise the awareness. I know it's in a lifestyle changes, make lifestyle changes section, but if you can let people know the most important fruits and vegetables to be consuming on a regular basis.
Well, sure, and you'll see that in the Make Lifestyle Changes report. When you click on the acid alkaline food chart, it's going to talk about Dr. Sebi, he a brilliant work and a great herbalist and a great humanitarian, who also defeated the FDA, the evil government who attacked him and eventually killed him. But you'll see the recommended fruits and vegetables that he recommends, because those are the ones that still contain the original seed and haven't been modified GMO by mankind of trying to play God.
Well, thank you very much for the information. If you can just share a couple particulars or read just a small segment or something, I really appreciate that. Other than that, I'll check it out myself. Thank you. All praises be to the Most High. Appreciate you for your work. You and Prophet Elijah and Doc Miles. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Peace and blessings to all the family.
Thank you very much. All right. Okay, and
Dr. Berst.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I have one other topic. It's perimenopause. Perimenopause.
Premenopause.
The Perimenopause. It's called perimenopause.
Pre-op.
Period.
Perimenopause.
Yes.
Let's see if we can go right. Period menopause. Let's take a look here. Okay. Here. Okay, we're going for it. Well, perimenopause periods refers to the end of your menstrual cycle. Once you've gone 12 months without a period, you've reached menopause. And now let's go in and talk. We'll describe that a little bit more for you. Let's see. So, what happens? What happens when that happens? Menopause refers to the end of the cycle, and the symptoms can last anywhere from 1 to 10 years. And during this time, the hormones, the estrogen, progesterone, are in flux. They're trying to figure out what to do. And the levels will fluctuate from month to month. And these shifts can be erratic, affecting ovulation and the rest of the cycle. You may notice anything from irregular periods to different bleeding patterns to missed periods. In other words, it's going to be all over. It can be all over the place. And then you have people that are talking about the perimenopause symptoms, which are hot flashes, night sweats, sleep troubles, memory issues, difficulty urinating, vaginal dryness, changes in sexual desire or satisfaction, and then there might be spotting between periods. And if you notice some blood on your underwear between the periods that doesn't require the use of a pad or a tampon, it's likely spotting. Spotting usually results from your body's changing hormones and endometrium buildup. Many women spot before their period starts or as it ends. Mid-cycle spotting around ovulation is also common. If you're regularly spotting every 2 weeks, it may be a sign of hormonal imbalance. You may want to speak with your healthcare provider, about the spotting if you feel like if it's becoming a problem. And what you can do, well, you consider keeping a diary to track your periods, including information such as when they start, how long they last, how heavy they are, and any in-between spotting. You can also log this information, there are places, and I can send you a report where you can log it in and so forth. Anyway, spotting. If you're worried about leaks and stains, consider wearing panty liners. Disposable panty liners are available at most corner drugstores, and they come in a variety of lengths and materials. And you can even buy reusable liners like Luna pads. And they are made of fabric and can be washed over and over again. And you can even get natural sanitary napkins and things like that from some health food stores. So what happens if there's abnormal heavy bleeding? When your estrogen levels are high in comparison to your progesterone levels, your uterine lining builds. It builds. And the results are heavier bleeding during your period as your lining sheds. A skipped period can also cause the lining to build up, creating heavy bleeding. To get rid of it, to shed it. Bleeding is considered heavy if it soaks through one tampon or pad an hour for several hours. That's heavy bleeding. Or if it requires double protection, such as a tampon and pad to control the flow. Or if it causes you to change your pad or tampon during sleep. Or if it lasts longer than 7 days. When bleeding is heavy, it may last longer, disrupting your everyday life. And you may find it uncomfortable to exercise or carry on with normal tasks. Heavy bleeding can also cause fatigue and increase your risk for other health concerns like anemia. And that's where the B12 and folic acid, that's where the formula number 1015, Plasmania herbal tincture extract that has yellow dock in it, that's where those are going to come in. And to slow down that bleeding, if you've got heavy bleeding, or herbs like shepherd's purse. Shepherd's purse, 30 drops every half hour to slow down bleedings. Cayenne pepper will slow down bleeding. Sometimes people will use a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, half a cup of apple juice, stir it up, drink it down, and it will slow down and stop bleeding. And so there's things that we can do. And then make sure let's enrich the blood with herbs with herbal formulas like Plasmania that are for anemia. And that Plasmania is number 1015, and it's 40% natural iron from plants. So, from the yellow dock. Now, and then of course, you know what mainstream science, the MDs will do. They're going to tell you to take ibuprofen, Advil, and all that kind of stuff for the cramps. And there is a menstrual cramping formula as well. And a menstrual cramping formula, if you've got cramps, well, let's take a look at that. My worn out pages. Menstrual cramping. That's number 1294. Menstruation decrease. Something to slow down the bleeding. Let's look at a couple of herbal formulas that slow down. Number one, 1294, that gets rid of menstrual cramping. And am I there? No. There we go. And so I'm going to type in 1294. This is an herbal formula, a tincture extract that will help get rid of cramping and PMS. And it has black cohosh, wood betony, blessed thistle, chamomile flower, fennel seed, ginger root, and cayenne. And that helps to balance out menstrual cramps and pains and PMS. And what about decreasing menstruation, slowing it down. Let's take a look at the formulas in number, or the herbs in number 1297. And number 1297 is menstruation decrease. And what herbs will do that? Mistletoe leaf, blessed thistle leaf, witch hazel bark, nettle root, and there's the shepherd's purse, slowing down bleeding. Also red raspberry leaf. All of these slow the bleeding down. And that's number 1297. And let's look at a menopause herbal formula. A menopause herbal formula for the hot flashes. And that would be black cohosh, number 1291 formula. Black cohosh, licorice root, false unicorn root, Eleutherococcus siticosus, also known as Siberian ginseng to give you stamina, squavine root, and sarsaparilla root, and blessed thistle. Those are the herbs that help to alleviate the menopausal symptoms.